The 1-2 Football Podcast. The voices of tomorrow, here today.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 1-2 Football Podcast. I'm Nathan, and today we're doing a Euro 2020 draft. As usual, I'm here with Ollie and Kieran. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm good. It's quite exciting. We're like, 3 days away now from the actual start of the Euro, so it's getting good. And
This will go out on the first day. The first day of the Euros, as this goes out, it'll be Turkey, Italy in the evening.
Exactly. This
so
is the
perfect timing.
The biggest news of the day is this podcast, not the actual fact the Euro started. Although actually, in bigger news, we have a brand new mobile app which you need to go and download. All right, do it. All right, go on our Twitter. It's on the pinned tweet or on the website, and you can see it, and you can get all the latest 1-2 football content, podcast, this podcast, everything on your mobile app. Easier to get than ever before. So yeah, a little bit of a plug there, but why not?
Had to be done. Kieran, obviously, maybe not the best week for you with the Tottenham news. Conte's no longer there. I mean, what's going on?
My silence says 1,000 words, I think. It was there. It was like right there, and then it just disappeared. Literally, you look away for an hour, and literally talks are progressing well to literally a complete breakdown. And I'm not surprised anymore. I really am not. So, I mean, at least for the next month, I can kind of push that to the back of my head a tiny bit and focus on the Euro. So it's actually come at a very good time. So I reckon we get straight into this draft because I'm looking forward to this.
Just a quick one on the rules. It's 2 players per nation. They have to be from the official, and I mean the official Euro 2020 squad. So no Pedro Neto, no Trent Alexander-Arnold, none of those players that didn't make the cut. Obviously, if Norway would have made Donny van der Beek, obviously just recently dropped out. So no one's got him. And obviously no players that haven't qualified for the tournament, which is pretty obvious. But we'll switch the screen now to the draft randomizer, and let's get into it. Right, so we're about to generate the order for the draft. One of the most important things, you've got to secure players, especially in this. We have it now.
I'm going to be shafted.
Ollie to go first.
Come on!
Ollie to go first.
I don't know the ages afterwards, but I go first.
For those on audio platforms, we just generated all our picks. Ollie is going first. Obviously, you'll hear who goes whenever.
He hasn't got
through that.
for picks though.
But yeah, me and Kieran might have a bit more power here. But Ollie, kick us off.
I've never, had the first pick, so I'm just so happy that I've got it. I'm going to go with what I think is obviously the star player of the tournament and probably the team that most likely to win. I'm going to go with Mbappe.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that was the obvious pick to go for first. I'm just so gassed I got the first one. I'm looking at it thinking, I don't go for 4 more goes, so this could be a lot of players gone. But, first pick.
Yep, that's fair enough. Should probably remind, it's 4-3-3, traditional 4-3-3, 2 wingers, 1 striker, 4 at the back, all of that. Kieran, who are you going for your first pick?
Can we not place a bet on this? Isn't it obvious?
I wanted to go first because Mbappe was such a choice. Where I was like, I didn't want to get second because now I'm stuck in a tough situation.
He's in limbo.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for Mbappe's countryman, and who I think is the best defensive midfielder in the world, in N'Golo Kante.
Good pick. It's a good pick. Can't argue with that.
Cross him out of my starting lineup.
Now, I've got 2 picks now. Let's keep it French. Let's keep it with probably on the international stage, one of the best midfielders in the world, really shines in that side. It's Paul Pogba. I'm going in that central midfield role.
My backup option after Kante out.
Just one of the best in that role. And then up front, I'm just going to secure it easy. You have to only 2 players per nation. I mean, I'm only looking at 1 Polish player. That's Robert Lewandowski, who's going to stay up front for me.
Little
cross out my starting striker.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get that in. So yeah, Pogba and Lewandowski in my picks. Kieran, what are you going for next?
Okay. Well, I've gone for a more defensive option, so I'm going to go for someone who I want up front, obviously. It's just a question of, do I go for that player or that player? Oh, this is... Okay, Yeah.
It's because I'm having a meltdown.
It's only the 5th pick. This guy's
My
struggling.
picks are so spread
Man,
out.
the early ones are the most important.
You gotta make a decision.
Okay. I'm gonna do it. I was bigging him up before we started this. On. Oh no, I don't know now.
I think I know who's gonna go for if we carried on that sentence.
You know now. Shit. Oh. Why am I such a? Oh my god.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, Greenish.
Oh, my starting winger.
Yeah, I've got Greenish on the left.
My team's already taken a big hit. Go on, Ollie.
Okay, I'm going to go for my other wing. So I have Mbappe out wide on one wing. I'm going to go for my right wing. And I'm going to go with Ronaldo.
No, fair enough.
Going to get my attacking depth up there.
Cannot argue with that. For me, is it me next year? I'm getting my holding midfielder in. I think I Kante, maybe the best defensive midfielder in the world, but definitely a big contender and arguably the most archetypal best defensive midfielder. Obviously, Kante a bit more box to box. I'm going with Joshua Kimmich from Germany.
He's my started midfielder.
They're a superb player for Bayern Munich. Got to get him in there next to Paul Pogba. Kieran.
Okay. Well, no one's taken the other player that I was going to go for. How long till my next pick? Well, okay. I can afford to do this then. Up front, in the striker position, I'm going to go for Romelu Lukaku.
Ooh.
Arguably, in my mind, one of the best strikers in Europe this season. Guided into the title.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Kane.
I wasn't expecting that from you.
I was going to go for Kane, but you'll understand why I don't go for Kane, hopefully.
Because you clearly got another Englishman.
No.
No.
Ollie, have you got an Englishman in the wings? Your pick next.
My next pick, I'm going to go... I've got 2 attackers, so I'm going to leave that. So I'm going to drop to the other side, end of the pitch. Not goalkeeper, but centre-back. Pretty sure he got Premier League Player of the Season. I'm going to go with Diaz. So it's my centre-back. So it's my 2 Portuguese players are done. I've got Ronaldo and Diaz, probably 2 of their best players. You didn't think of who?
I didn't think of Diaz. I don't know why. I'm looking at my options and Diaz is not there for some reason. Stinker. Go on, Kieran.
Well, I'm going to go for his teammate, who arguably hasn't had the most game time this season, but he's still a very good centre back. He's not French; he's Spanish. I'm Rick Laporte.
My team's falling apart here.
Who is it? Is it me again now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm back in. Come on. You know what? I probably should be picking a central midfielder, but I'm not. I'm going to increase my attacking thing. I'm going for Kevin De Bruyne from Belgium as my cam. So right now I've got Mbappe, De Bruyne and Ronaldo. You know, we're loving it.
My team's taking the biggest hit. Right, so I've got 2 now. Right, 2 picks in a row. I'm gonna again. I did the same with Lewandowski. Those players from those smaller countries that are in a position where I think they're the best at that out of everyone in the tournament. I'm gonna go to left back. I'm gonna secure Andy Robertson nice and early in that left back slot.
Oh.
The Scotland captain, of course, fantastic left back. And then I'm gonna also get my first centre back in there. I think I'm gonna go with someone who hasn't been a centre back for a long time, but has really come in the last 2 years under Hansi Flick and established himself as one of the best centre backs in the world. Secured a big move to Real Madrid, and that's David Alaba coming as my other centre back.
That was my backup. That's my backup left back. So there goes. Is it me?
And it is now Ollie. Yeah.
Well, now I've said that, you've just ruled out my 2 other backup left backs with Robertson and David Alaba. So I better go in with my only other option that I've got available, which was my starting option, but just to stop it from happening, Luke Shaw as my starting left back because I had no other options and I didn't want to have to quickly search for more. So I've got Luke Shaw.
Okay.
Go on, Kieran, in response to that.
Okay. We're entering panic stations a bit here, I'm not going to lie. Oh, God.
You've been in panic station since the start of the thing.
Yeah, I have.
Come on, Kieran. So
Oh,
this is the 15th pick of the whole thing. 33, obviously, given out. So we're
Well-
near the halfway point.
Ollie took my starting cam. So, and now I'm panicking there. So, actually,
Oh no. It looked positive for once, so now it's gone at a half. For those that are listening and not watching right now, I can describe Kieran's face as one of pure confusion and
He's
confusion.
in
not-
deep thought.
This is a man.
He's
who
unsure.
doesn't know what he's doing. This is probably going to be the face of Southgate when he realises he's got no midfielders and loads of defenders, and he needs to make some quick changes.
oh God.
I mean, come on, Kieran, man. Pick
Yeah,
a bloody
it's all right.
player.
All right. Let me just make sure I can actually do this. Right, I can because Ollie took Diaz. So I mean, he's had a bit of a ropey season, but he's still racked up some very good numbers, and I imagine he's going to be very important to Portugal's chances of possibly winning. So in the cam position, I've got Bruno Fernandez.
Yeah,
What are you gonna
fair
do?
enough.
Why did that take such a long time to?
Because De Bruyne I was so set on getting him that I didn't even have a backup. Like, no one really could definitely go there. So I had to quickly think on my feet.
Is it
Go
me?
on, Ollie. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm going to quickly get a central midfielder because I have none yet there so far. You took my two startings were Kante and Kimmich, and with my backup of Pogba.
Mm.
Now, I have still got 5 options there, so I'm not low, but I want to get one in. We mentioned, well, we probably will be mentioning him because he's going to be facing England in the first game. You know, I'm pretty sure he was the Ballon d'Or winner recently. I'm going to go with Modric. He's a class act.
Decent shout, yeah.
If you can't have Pogba, you can't have Kante. He's getting on in age, but he's still got the class, and this is probably he's probably going to have a quality campaign again. So Modric is my first central midfielder.
Go on, Kieran.
Oh, I'm going to reply with my central midfielder. It's between two,
Mm-hmm.
but again, let me just make sure I can go for this player. As you can see, plenty of planning in this one. Yeah, okay. He's got a very important goal in a very important game. And he's a very, very, very good player. I think he's one of the best central midfielders. Definitely in the Premier League, possibly even in the world. Come to light a bit more recently.
Exactly who's picking.
Under the guidance of Brendan Rodgers, I'm going to go for Yuri Tielemans.
Ooh, I like that. I do make my
You know what?
yeah,
He
that's-
was my fourth. He was the other option. I was debating between him and Modric in that position, but I went with Modric. No, he's got that bit of background.
Yeah, Tielemans rings around him, so that's fine.
I think I'm going to get my right winger in here. And he doesn't actually play on the right wing for Germany, but he does at a club level. I'm going to go, and he's the star man for this German team. I think he's probably the most important player in a German team that hasn't been very impressive. One of the most important players. I'm going to go Serge Gnabry on that right side. Just someone that is pacey, get at a man, and get some goals, hopefully, for the team. Ollie.
Me again, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to cement my centre-back pairing here. I've got Diaz. A player that, he did this big move, 2 years back now, I think it was 2 or 3 years back. It didn't go off to the best of starts. He's had a bit of injuries in his career, but he's still probably one of the best youngsters still in the world. It's probably going to be key to Netherlands if they want to do well. I'm going to go with De Ligt in centre-back to partner Diaz. No Van Dijk, he's going to be massive to that defence. Like I said, I don't think the move to Juventus has gone as planned necessarily, but he has, when he's been fully fit, has spark still. He's just been a bit unfortunate with injuries, I'm pretty sure, but still a quality player to partner Diaz. I think that's a strong centre back pairing.
That's a good back two there in centre back. I'm going to get my goalkeeper in. I'm going to go with someone solid. I'm going to go Thibaut Courtois. I said that wrong, but Courtois coming in. Had a good spell at Real Madrid now after maybe a bit of a rocky start, but definitely someone that just secures it in goal for me. I think it's straight to Ollie here. Or is it Kieran?
Is it Kieran?
It's Kieran, yeah. Kieran. Sorry.
Okay. Well.
And again in deep thought, ahead of picking his next pick.
I currently don't have a fullback.
Oh. I need some of them. Remember, the squads will all be up on Twitter after this. On the day it comes out, we'll all put the squads out on Twitter. You guys can vote who you think has the best team at 1-2 Football UK on Twitter, I believe.
That's fine.
Am I right, Ollie? It's UK at the end of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-2 Football UK.
Okay. Yep.
On Twitter, it'll be there. So make sure you're tuned in on Friday for that.
Good feel for time there. Yeah, I'm going to do this. All right. I'll go for my right back. And again, we'll make sure that... my picks have been shafted, so I'm just going to have to make sure I can pick him. I can. Very important to Manchester City's title-winning team. Very versatile. Just very good. I'll go for João Cancelo at right back.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Can't argue with that. Well, God, I think I'm going to stick in Portugal actually with this. I feel like I'm stuck between picking my attacking mid or left wing centre back. I'm quite confident my right back one will be right, but it's who do I pick first? I've not got a pick for a while as well, so I could lose some players in. I'm going to go. I'm going to secure my attacking midfielder. One of the standout players in the Premier League this year. We're going to play a big role for England. I'm going to go Mason Mount in that attacking midfield role for us, for my team and for England this summer. Get him in there. Kieran, you up next?
I may as well reply with another English player. He might not start. Who knows what's going on in Gareth Southgate's mind? But you can't deny that he's absolutely broken onto the scene this season. Another person who has massively helped City win the Premier League. On the right, I am going to go for Phil Foden.
I'll argue that.
Is it my pick?
Yep. I'm getting down to the end now.
I've got my majority of my main positions that I wanted to, that I thought I was going to lose out on. I haven't really been that shafted to fair this time, so I'm okay. But I'm going to go with right back. Now, I feel like Nathan may have gone with it, but I'm not sure. But it's a position that, I was pretty low on. I'm going to absolutely balls up at the pronunciation of his names, but he is Turkish. I heard Nathan say he felt pretty confident, so I thought, I'm going to take it before he is that confident. I'm going to say his name also, do correct me, but Zeki Selik or something?
Selik, I think it is for the top.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
He's linked with so many teams, linked with Man United, my team, and he won the league, the French league this season. And he's just a quality player. I think this is going to really be a great platform to him to shine and to get that transfer elsewhere if he does. But that's against my defence. I knew Nathan was going to want him because he had those players that weren't massive and set and didn't have loads of options. But got my right back. That's what I was worried about.
Kieran,
I'm going to secure my goalkeeper. Someone who's been in the news recently. Also looks to be securing a move to France, but he's not French. He's Italian. Wow. That is Gianluigi Donnarumma. I'll put him in the sticks.
Yeah, very solid goal. Can't believe he's going PSG, especially because they've got Navas already. Chase the money, kid. Stay there. Go on, Ollie. Last pick for a little bit.
Yeah, it's my last pick for a while. It's who I pick. That's the question.
Why are you pulling at me here?
I think I'm confident with one position being okay. There's no debate. I'm doing it because this is where I'm lacking more. I'm going to go with my goalkeeper. I'm going to keep the trend. Donnarumma was my number one. He's probably going to be a great platform like him to shine as well. But I'm going to go with, I don't think I've had anyone from this country yet. No, I'm going to go German. I'm going to go with Neuer. Quality goalkeeper. No one can deny that. He is getting on in age again, a bit like Modric, but it may be his last, big tournament as top of his peak, but, he's still one of, if not the best goalie in the world. So going to put Neuer in there, class act to really cement that defensive unit.
And I agree with that. I'm going to keep it with players that are old but classy, or maybe not so classy when it comes to this player, but it's just such a fantastic player despite his age. I've been impressed anytime I've seen Porto play. I've been really impressed with a certain centre-back, just how he has managed to keep going at his age. And he adds that bit of roughness into the team. I've got the man Pepe coming in there at centre-back.
He was my backup behind Diaz because in the Champions League he did so well, and for someone of his age, he still looks like he's got years left in him. Like we all talk about, the older players like Ronaldo and Messi, but there's some players out there that are old, quite old. No disrespect to them as footballers, but that they can still play and they look like they've got years left in them. And Pepe was a great shout. He was my backup defender, so no denying that. So excellent pick.
Go on, Kieran. I mean, penultimate pick. Who's it going to be?
Well, I think we're going to have to stick with players who, as Ollie said, have made a massive impact in the Champions League. A player who's probably been the best he's ever been in the last 4 or 5 months with the certain arrival of someone who he shares nationality with. I'm, of course, on about Chelsea's German coach, Thomas Tuchel. And so my other centre-back is going to be Antonio Rudiger.
That's a good shout. I considered him for sure.
I just think, because I like to do a bit on form, a bit on just how good they are as a whole. And if you're going to go off form, you've got to look at Rudiger. Yeah. He's been immense for the latter part of this season.
I think we're going to stick with that. Premier League players that have been on form. This man was absolutely incredible when he first arrived at Liverpool on my left wing here. But he'd come back from injury, and you can just see, Liverpool's front three were incredibly predictable until he came back. And he, again, was a big reason why Liverpool ended up getting top four, especially with his form early in the season. And it's Diogo Jota coming in on that left wing. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Exciting front three. That's everything secured now except one position. And Ollie, 2 picks in a row. How are you going to send your draft out there?
My last 2 picks. I didn't have Rudiger actually in my thing. I had a lot of players in centre back. Centre back was hard position for me. I haven't got any. I've already got my centre backs, but just going over. I had Jules Koundé. I know he's still young, but I had him as one of my backup options. I had Varane. Rumoured to be leaving, but he's still a quality shout. I had Saul for Germany, and then I had Skriniar at Slovakia, just as an out there shout as well.
Yeah.
They were my backup ones. But no, I've got a central midfielder to go now. I'm looking at, and I'm not going to go with the player that... No, can I do this? Yeah, I can. I'm not going to go with the player that I was going to pick for, actually. I've just circled him to be in my team, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to make the same mistake as Pep Guardiola did in the Champions League final and not have a more robust midfielder. I was going to go with Ilkay Gundogan, but I'm not. I've got Modric. He's the passer. I've got De Bruyne, he's the playmaker. I'm going to go with someone that, didn't make the starting line, but I don't think the Champions League final. I'm going to go with Rodri for Spain. Haven't got any Spanish players actually in my team yet, so he's my first one. It was going to be Gundogan, but that midfield wasn't really a ball-winning midfield there, so I went with Rodri, just to add that sort of ball-winning thing there. So, my last position. I had him down as second option striker because I thought he would be picked off the bat. Although, April, I'm pretty sure it was one with Lewandowski, who was my first choice. I'm going to go with what my backup option was because I thought he was going to be picked first, and it's going to be Harry Kane. Harry Kane to support my attacking trio of Mbappe, Kane, and Ronaldo. So,
Yeah, it's pretty
very happy with that lineup. Yeah, that's my team.
I mean, I will send mine out here with a right back shout. I mean, I didn't get the first two players I wanted, which was Cancelo and Celik. I didn't get either of them. But I'm going to keep it experienced. Got a big leader in the team. He's just lifted the Champions League. I'm going to go with Cesar Azpilicueta in that right back slot. Right, I'm sorry, Kieran.
No, it's not that. It's just such a good shout and
Yeah. It's a bit of experience. We're not going to bomb forward, but we've got Serge Gnabry. He can supply it and it'll be all right. And Kieran, your final pick.
Close it out with a bang. Not really. Probably. No. I'm not going to slag off my own team. God, he's a left back. I don't quite know what his chances are of starting in the Euros, but he's going and he's good. So I'm going to whack him there. He's French and he plays in the Premier League. I do have a very Premier League feel to my team. In fact, just looking at it now, I only have one player that's not in the Premier League.
Go with what you know.
So I'll close it out with Luka.
That's a good pick. I think, yeah, I can't argue with that.
Okay, so all of our teams have been picked, all right? That went actually quite quickly in my mind. I feel like the majority of us were quite snappy and knew who we wanted. I'm not pointing any fingers, Kieran. But, certain people didn't get what they want. But good. The biggest news from this is the fact that I have two wingers. I followed your to the line, and I've got two wingers. So let's start with it. I'll go through my team since I'm talking now. If you want to make a note or whatever. In goal, I've got Germany's Neuer. Been on the main stage of being like top level of goalkeeping for many years. As far as I can remember, he's a quality goalkeeper. In front of him in defence, you've got Luke Shaw. Not necessarily the best left back in the world, but form-wise, definitely up there. He's going into the Euros and probably guaranteed that starting left spot for England. Next to him is a fellow Manchester-based player, but his rival with Diaz, won the Premier League Player of the Season, made a massive difference to Manchester City's defence.
Somehow.
You what?
Somehow.
What, league player?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry Kane, robbed maybe.
Yeah.
Regardless of, just on that, regardless of whether, Kane didn't win anything, he did something that only 3 people have done in history.
Yeah. How De Bruyne got the other one is also crazy.
I think you'll always find, though, I think with that sort of award is that if it's a new signing, they will always be picked. Like, new signings are always picked, for instance, when we do it. But, yeah, anyway, saying that, I've got both of them. Whatever one you want to pick. So I've got Diaz. Partnering him is De Ligt for the Netherlands. Juventus centre-back, going to be massive for in the placement of Van Dijk. Not necessarily the best centre-back in the world, but definitely, up there. Like I said, transfer didn't go his way, but he's still a quality centre-back. No one can deny that, especially for his age. I think you forget that he is still so young because it feels like he's been around for like 4 years or whatever. Yeah. And then right back, Nathan can say his name because I know he's loving to say it because he really wants it for his own team.
Yeah, Zeki Celik, the little right back. Yeah, can't argue with that one.
Going to be a massive time for him to just, get his name out there, people that aren't already aware of him. And yeah, that's my right back. And it's quite a young defence, to be honest. You got the the maturity of Neuer in goal. You got the maturity of Diaz, which seems 10 years above his age. And obviously Shaw's not necessarily young, but he's still pretty young. In front of that is a player that's been around for decades. It's Modric for Croatia. I didn't get the people I wanted, Kante and Pogba, but I mean, for a third shout, that is not bad at all. One of the best central midfielders in the world. Next to him is Rodri. Didn't want to make the same mistake as Pep. Needed that ball winner in there. Great player again. My only player from Spain, but a great quality player as well. And in front of that is De Bruyne, someone that really mucked up Kieran's team because he really wanted him. But Belgium's big man, De Bruyne. And then either side of him, I'm not going to lie, I'm very happy with my attack here. With Mbappe out wide, probably going to be the man of the tournament. Ronaldo, one of the men of the footballing world and just globally is a massive name. And then up front, a man I thought I was going to be picked straight out the door, so I didn't even think I was going to have him, is Harry Kane to lead that line. Yeah. I'm very happy with that team. I'm normally the one that gets kind of slated for my teams when we do this, but you pick it apart as you want. But I'm absolutely gassed about this. Yeah. Online.
I mean, sometimes everything just falls into place in terms of picks and the order and who you get and certain players maybe you think will get taken, don't. I think that's happened. I literally cannot really find the flaw in that team, unfortunately. You know, maybe with Modric and Rodri, it's not the best midfield, but I mean, Christ, it's still fantastic. You know, just there's so many great options out there. So I'd be very nitpicking if I was to just take any problem for the team.
The shock of it was the fact that Harry Kane was my last pick.
Yeah.
Once you both did your strikers in the first go or two, I thought, I don't need to pick Harry Kane because there's no way that you've got Lewandowski or Lukaku out wide. So I thought Harry Kane's a safe bet to leave last, which was an absolute shock to me. And that really opened the door up for me to get positions that I wasn't necessarily going to. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure if it's 100%, but whoever goes first normally wins these drafts that we found. They're the best team because you get the number one player. And then from that, it all seems to fall into place. But yeah. What are you thinking of my team, Kira? You know, you normally slag it off.
You haven't broke any rules this time.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. What can I say, really? I guess maybe on international stage-wise, Celik could be exposed, but, I mean, he's brilliant, so that's unlikely. De Ligt, again, someone who's struggled, still very good. So, I mean, in terms of weak points, there's nothing really that screams at me, so... And if anything, it's not even like the team is average. I think that front four is just how you've managed that. I mean, you got the first pick, that helps. But I mean, what you've done there is nothing short of, to be quite honest.
I honestly, when I picked Mbappe, I thought Kane's going to go. You said Lewandowski, and I thought, oh no. And then when you said that, but to be honest, my other backups was Lukaku. Obviously was picked. I then had Benzema, and then I had Gerard Moreno for Spain because he's been bagging them. So I mean, either way, my striker was strong. And then when Ronaldo wasn't picked, because who did you pick out? What, Grealish? When you picked Grealish, I thought Ronaldo was there, so I went straight in for him. And but yeah, so but. Yeah, no, I was very, like you said, midfield is definitely probably the weakest point of the team. But no, I'm very happy. The thing that shocked me was I was looking throughout this entire thing. I had the app up, went on the French team because I thought I've only have one French player in this team. There's got to be a mistake here. I must be able to fit another French player in it, and I couldn't. So I think that just goes down to the strength of the team. But anyway, moving on. Shall we go to
players?
What's that?
Mbappe is the worth of two French players.
Exactly. Yeah. No need for any more. He's going to carry that team. But which one of you wants to go first or next? Next then, not first.
I don't mind. Kieran, do you want to get yours? Because you don't look particularly delighted with it. So.
Yeah, I'll get mine out the way. Donnarumma in goal, Cancelo written down. I won't do that. No.
I say, wait, now I've got to write it.
Okay. Donnarumma in goal. As I wrote in the transfer piece, a really nice line I put in there was he somehow got youth and experience on his side. The bloke's made ridiculous amount of appearances for AC Milan and made 29, I think it is, for Italy. And he's 22, 23.
Great.
Incredible. Cancelo. I mean, what can you say about him, really? He's been absolutely brilliant for City this season. Very good going forward, very good defensively, very adaptable as well. Can play on the right, left. He's dropped into that midfield role as well if he needed to. Just, again, solid for me. Rudiger, another one kind of done on form, just because over the last 5 months he's been one of the best centre-backs in the world and winning the Champions League, keeping out Man City, one of the best attacking teams in the world, kind of shows that. Next to him, an important part of this is I realised this is Rudiger, right centre-back, right-footed, Laporte, left centre-back, left-footed, just helps the dynamic of the team, allowing the play to open up much more. Laporte, someone who's probably the opposite of form in that he has struggled to get into the Man City team this season. I mean, if Aymeric Laporte is on your bench, your depth is just not fair. But again, another great centre-back. Left-back was my last pick, probably the one that, arguably not the happiest with. But again, Luka Dean in a really second half of the season and a lot of the first half of the season, an average Everton team, always someone who's solid, plenty of assists. His crossing ability is incredible. I don't know if he's going to start for France because I'm not quite sure how that works with Fernandez. But I mean, I would start him at left back personally.
I do think he's underrated personally. I just want to jump in there. I think, many people was a bit like, when he signed for Everton, but I think he's been class. I mean, I think he's captained them a couple of times, hasn't he, as well?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think he's just brilliant. And, he racks up assists as well. He is the typical modern day sort of, attacking fullback. And, Trent, Robertson, they all get a lot of praise. But, just across literally meters away, you have Lucas Digne, who's also probably one of the best attacking left backs or just full backs in the league. I do think he's a really good shout. So you say he's a weak point, but he's still quality in my mind. He's still quality.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think there was ever going to be a bad pick here necessarily.
Yeah,
so many players on offer. Nathan picking Robertson did throw a bit of a spanner in the works because very unlikely I was going to pick McGinn or anyone.
Lyndon Dykes up top.
So, but Digne again, a pretty good second choice, I'd say. And then what I believe was my first pick, another Champions League winner. I mean, he's won the Champions League,
He's quite good.
What is highlights the best team in Europe? What competition are we going into? The Euros. So, I mean, if you part and parcel, best DM, box to box, whatever you want to call him, he can do everything. N'Golo Kante, absolute, just a magician. The things he can do and the things he sees, I don't understand. Genuinely, watching the Champions League final, the amount of interceptions and things he made, and he's just a fantastic player. And, like Mbappe, like Pogba, he's going to be so important to that France team in this summer's competition. In front of him, in the pivot, however you want to call it, he's someone who does play that more, box-to-box role in his pivot with Ndidi at Leicester. It's Yuri Tielemans, someone who's been incredible this season. Leicester, of course, didn't get Champions League football, but the fact that they've gotten on as high as they did, he is just a massive part of that. And who can forget, he scored a couple of screamers against England. He's, of course, scored one against Chelsea. So he knows where the goal is as well. So that's very important. In front of them, in kind of the 10 role, Bruno Fernandez, again, wanted De Bruyne. Not a bad second choice when you think about it. Yes,
choice at all.
Yeah, we can say a lot about his form this season and that, he goes missing in big games. But I hate to be a person that judges on stats, but sometimes you just can't ignore them when they're as good as his.
He's using stats. I always use stats. You can't base it off stats. Stats lie, as he loves to say.
Well, goals and assists.
Added.
No, Bruno's a great player. I'm not going to deny that. Stats prove.
No. So he'll be in the 10 role. On the left, Jack Grealish, innit?
Yeah, quite good.
I mean, my front three, arguably, if you go off maybe, I guess you could say, duration of being incredible. You look at Ollie's, Ronaldo. I mean, one of the best players of the last 10. Kane, been one of the best Premier League strikers, well, obviously in my eyes, the best for the past few years. Mbappe, the next kind of Messi, Ronaldo, that level of player. My players are very much kind of form-based, I'd say. Grealish and Foden, both left and right wingers, have been incredible for their teams this season. Well, I mean, you say Grealish, he's missed a large portion of the season, especially more recently, but he's come into those friendlies with probably about 90 minutes under his belt, all in all. Maybe, I think a bit more than that, but he's come in, played, I want to say, a good chunk of them, and comfortably been the best player on the pitch. He's going to be very important this summer as well for England. And then up front, I'd say, for my money, of course, Lewandowski of 2020 was absolutely incredible. But I think Lukaku helped to win their first title in 10 years. He's going to be very important for Belgium this summer as well. And kind of similar to Grealish and Foden, just going off what he's done this season has been nothing short of remarkable. So I'm pretty happy with him up front. Yes, of course, the Kane situation was a problem, but as soon as Mbappe was gone, my backup was Foden. I had Grealish and Mount lurking about, and I was like, I don't have too many England players. So I had to think about where I was going to prioritise a certain position, because I think if I went for Kane, I'd have to go for someone different on the right, and it could have been a weaker player. So get Lukaku in there makes it kind of easier to then keep Foden in just to strengthen up that attack. But that is my team.
You seem so disappointed, but it's a good team. Okay, it's a very good team. I mean, you just look at who's leading the line. Lukaku, he didn't do great at Man United, but like you said, he's absolutely been a revelation and turned around his entire career personally at Inter Milan. You got Grealish, who he's been linked with 80 million pound or whatever move to Manchester City, to one of, if not the best team in the world currently. I know they lost to Chelsea, so technically they're not, but still debatable. Foden, one of the best youngsters coming around. Bruno Fernandez. If you can't have, there's a debate who's better, Bruno or De Bruyne. De Bruyne edged it to me personally, but Bruno is not far off at all. It's not as I think. Kante, probably the best player for what he does in that position in the world. And then Talisman, a great shout. There were stronger options around there, but I mean,
wait, what? How do you pronounce that? Talisman.
Freeze over. I said it on purpose. Still a great shout. Won that the FA Cup, and then like I said, your defence. It's weird for me. You have based it very much so off of form, and that is clear. If you were to put this team in front of me and say, ignore form and just overall ability, I'd be thinking, how have you done this when you have all these players available? But based on form, it is a very, very strong team. But yeah, and like you said, your goalkeeper and your attack, I think, and obviously Kante, your three biggest areas. I mean, obviously Bruno is great, but I mean, Kante, Lukaku's going to score goals, and you have a solid goalie in between the sticks. So it's a very strong team. For someone that looks so disappointed, can I just say, the fact that he's so disappointed and making out he's probably got the worst team out of the three of us. I'm not saying he has. We yet to hear Nathan's fully, but this just shows and highlights how good this tournament's going to be. The amount of quality talent on show.
I can't wait.
It's not even the World Cup. You haven't even got the likes of Messi and Suarez, and you forget that because of the ability that you have. But
bring on the World Cup too. World Cup next year, crazy. So much talent on display in this tournament. I mean, I think my only criticism of the team, because I quite like the team, to be honest, it's a good, solid team, and I think it's a team that even in 5 years' time could still be, a fantastic team, an even better team if you just kept those players in there. If we was doing the next Euros, they could probably keep most of that in there. My only thing would be, I mean, if you're looking tactically, I know it's not. Well, same reason why I wouldn't start it for England, Foden and Grealish, not a lot of direct running in behind there. But aside from that, it's two, fantastic players. And Lukaku's someone who likes to play with his back to goal. I'm not sure whether that would be the most, have the most penetration in that front three. I struggle with that.
I mean, you say that doesn't technically run in behind. He doesn't. But I mean, he'll pick up the ball from about 40 yards from goal, take it past three players, and he's there.
Yeah, that's individual moments. That's some hopeful regularity. I mean, if it's Grealish, he'll just get fouled. But if
Bruno?
Generally the team is very good. I mean, I can't argue with a lot of them picks, and obviously very Premier League heavy. But stick with what you know. And I mean, that team's played in the Euros. I'd probably back them to do quite well.
Nathan, you.
All right.
Do you back them to do quite well?
I think so. I think they do all right. In goal, I've got Thibaut Courtois, just a solid goalkeeper, has been at the top level for a number of years now, and it's kind of asserted himself as Real Madrid's man after a rocky start there, and was obviously fantastic at Chelsea. Right back, got Cesar Azpilicueta, again, just another solid player, not fireworks going forward, but very good defensively, leader, has definitely improved in that captaincy role, and has, again, just lifted the Champions League, just guided the team to that, so can't sleep on that. Left back, for my money, the best left back in the world, Andy Robertson, just very good. I mean, he's not had the best season in terms of assists and that, but some of that comes down to the front three. And he's also played every single game for Liverpool, so it shows consistency. There's a reason why he has that role, playing in one of the best teams in the world. So Andy Robertson at left back, centre backs, David Alaba. Not a natural centre back if you was talking about 2 years ago, but there's a reason why he's shown himself a big move to Real Madrid. He's been absolutely fantastic for Bayern Munich at that role since Hansi Flick's arrival, and just been super impressive. Next to that, if you're doubting Alaba's defensive capabilities, which you shouldn't be, if you are, you've got Pepe next to him. I mean, he'll clean it up. He's got, he's a very dirty player. He's gonna, all that kind of dark magic, whatever it's called, when you need to win a game, you've got Pepe in there. Has rolled back for years at Porto. And I mean, if we was doing a Real Madrid draft next year, you'd probably have that as your centre-back duo for the thing. I'm really struggling to speak. This team has got me really excited.
I'm flustered, look at him.
I'm all flustered with this team. I'm so flustered because I've got, for my opinion, the best central defensive midfielder in the world in terms of that, holding and doing a job in Joshua Kimmich is absolutely fantastic. You see comparisons to Philip Lahm, who was one of the best, right back / holding midfielders the world's ever seen. He's done pretty much a similar job to that for Bayern Munich, and is arguably outside of my striker their best player. Central midfielder Paul Pogba. I mean, in that kind of, just a bit further forward from Kimmich. Just when Pogba's on it, he's one of the best players in the world, and for my team, he's going to be on it all the time. That's just how it works. And I think we'll see that for France as well, because I think Kante frees him up a lot, and it's not something he quite gets at Manchester United. So we'll definitely see Pogba at his best. In the 10, I didn't get who I wanted. I wanted De Bruyne, then I wanted Fernandez. Instead, I got Mason Mount, who, I mean, again, look, if you can't have De Bruyne, you can't have Fernandez. Mason Mount's a pretty good shout. He's been Chelsea's best player for me this season, and Chelsea won the European Champions League. I cannot speak. The Champions League this season. Obviously, Kante had the starring role in that final, but Mount was consistently, even through the Lampard time, their best player. On the right, Serge Gnabry. I think he's Germany's man in this tournament. I think if Germany is to have any success, Serge Gnabry will be that man, a direct runner, gets at his man. Obviously, if Serge Gnabry has a good game in the Euros, we'll guarantee that. See that boring Tony Pulis tweet whenever Tony Pulis didn't rate him, now look at him sort of thing. But he's just been fantastic. He established himself as one of the best wingers in the world, and probably will actually play up front for Germany, I assume, unless they start Werner, which I'm not sure if they want to do that. On the left, Diogo Jota, just been Liverpool's best attacker outside of, him and Mo Salah can argue for that position. Mo Salah's obviously fantastic, but if Diogo Jota had stayed fit the whole season, I think we'd be talking about him as Liverpool's best player this season, because he's just been superb in a season where Mane and Firmino haven't quite been at it. Diogo Jota stood in there, and it's just an absolutely fantastic piece of business. And I'm not sure whether it'd start with Portugal, considering I'm sure Ronaldo will probably play directly up front, or whether Felix and some of the other players in Portugal's squad so stacked that I'm not sure whether Jota will play. But I mean, again, you're looking at options off the bench, and that's probably one of the best ones in the tournament. And up front, for me, not necessarily the best player that plays up front. It's the best natural striker in the world for me, Robert Lewandowski, in terms of getting in the box and finishing, and just an all-round poacher. I mean, we've got so many Pogba, Mount, Gnabry, so many chances going to be created for him. All you've got to do is stand there and tap it in, which he's proven to be very good at for Bayern.
It's a very good team. I've gone through your team, and I've just put little dashes next to it. 5 of your players were either in my starting lineup or my backup choice. So I think that shows a lot with sort of things went. And but yeah, no, Lewandowski was my starting striker. Kane is amazing. No one can ever say that. But for me, the best finisher, like you said, out of the 2, I would say is Lewandowski. Kieran is going to probably, or is free to disagree.
No, I agree.
It is a very close call, but Lewandowski just edges it for me. Pogba, like I said, is an incredible world-class player. He has his moments, he has his doubts, but on the international stage, he never really disappoints. Kimmich was my starting CDM. He used to play right back. He can play centre back. He can centre back. He can play. Does play centre midfielder. Nathan's is contagious. But yeah, he's amazing. And then Pepe and Alba, or Alaba, whatever you want to say, is 2 great centre back pairings, and it's just a great team. We've all made really strong teams. What's odd for me looking at this is, I'm just comparing the 2 of your teams. Individual brilliance, I'm probably going to edge ever so slightly, maybe, apart from maybe if you take away, maybe defence is a bit more up in the air, but sort of midfield, attack and goalkeeper. I'm probably going to edge more towards Kieran's, but as a team, as a unit, I can't look past Nathan's, because I do think Kante, Bruno are better than Mount and Pogba. And Kimmich is better than, obviously, I'm not going to say the Leicester man's name because I'm going to get bullied for it. But as a working midfield 3, for some reason, just looking on it, I think Nathan's got the better one, and I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but for some reason, it's just where it is. So, but 2 very good teams. In my personal opinion, though, I'm just going to jump straight in there, and I'm going to say, I'm going to back myself. I'm going to put myself within one team. Right. I'm going to put Nathan's as a second and Kieran as a third, but I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be a more clear run for Nathan, but Kieran's team was actually, he made it seem underwhelming, but it's a very, very good team. But Kieran come in 3rd place.
I think I'm up with that. I think the same one. I can't look past all this team, man. It's too good. But I think, again, I don't think there's much in it between me and you, Kieran. But I think my player, I feel like when we do these drafts, I kind of build more like teams. I'm thinking about how the teams are going to play, whereas you 2 maybe favour the individual talent, which is why I haven't won one yet.
I think Ollie more than I do.
Yeah, I think You go.
I think you look at players and like, oh, he's good, in he goes.
I do.
You nearly did that with the DM, didn't you?
Yeah. I actually changed. I went more tactical when I went with my decision. I went with Rodri over Gundogan.
Yeah.
I think Gundogan's an overall better player, but for my team to make it flow better, I did pick Rodri. So I did change there. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You don't need much tactics to tell my team to go and win the game. You just leave it down to their individual brilliance. But yeah, no. I am so happy that I've won. I cannot tell.
Well, we have to see what the viewers and the listeners think. You know, I'm sure they'll probably vote for you.
What?
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Yeah, but no, but this is what
No,
happened.
we won't finish. I'm telling the viewers that, you know, he's only so confident.
This is what happened the first time, though. Yours doesn't matter anymore because there's 2 out of the 3 have said. He's gone. Turn your camera on. What are you saying then, Paul?
Right, go on, Kieran. What is your ranking?
Nathan, like, I really, really like it. It's I don't know. There's just something about it. It's quite edgy.
Oh, look, he's just doing it.
You know what I mean? But I looked at you were labelling it out, and I was like, oh, that's a bit. It's not very good. And then I was thinking about it. No, that's very good. And I probably would have gone for your team had it not been for that.
Yeah, it's just Ollie's from too good.
Ollie could have put Di Michaelis at centre back in his team, and I still probably would have picked that team because it's talk about individual moments. I mean, that front four, my God, and
Crazy.
The fact we still got arguably the top centre back choice as well, because I think me and you were panicking to try and get some forward players in who match the level of Mbappe and Ronaldo.
So just stole Diaz in the back there. I know my front 4 is great. My 2 central midfielders, you know, for what was my third option on both sides, I still think are great. But I agree. You know, you guys have got Kante, you've got Pogba. It does beat the likes of Modric and Rodri, but Diaz, I still think does do it. And you know, but yeah, I'm very happy. I'm glad that we had an overall victory for me for once. Yes. But what do the public think? It will be going. We will be posting up the pictures on there, you know. So just feel free to vote for my team. I'm not sure what number that's going to be yet, but do feel free to do that. If you don't, then you're a fraud and you hate football.
And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. We've got obviously the new app, the 1-2-Football app. All instructions on our Twitter and on the website. Obviously, if you want to go to the website while you're looking for instructions to check out the app, check out some of the pieces, including our new Transfer Live thing, where we to document all the biggest rumours in modern football right now. I've really struggled to speak this episode. You got it eventually.
It's a thing. It's a transfer thing. I talk about transfers a little bit, I guess. Transfer.
A live rumour page, updated daily as well, so it'll be all fresh anytime you go on there. And thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with hopefully looking towards the Euros and getting that underway. So enjoy the first game and vote for my team.
No.